Yep, it's 6:30, Steve.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to call the Pipestone City Council meeting to order, please. And this would be for January 20th, 2026. Could I have a roll call?
Mayor Delaney.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Councilmember Thompson. Here. Councilmember Swanson.
Here.
Councilmember Colbeck.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. If you're able, please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda. Is there any additions, changes, or deletions? And I do have one addition. And we would, under new business, Resolution 2026-10. Resolution 2026-10, and that's a resolution authorizing the City of Pipestone to enter into the Minnesota Clean Water Partnership Loan Agreement. And it's something that we would already approve, but we're just updating the verbiage and the name. So that will be under new business, and I'm going to jot that in under I, new business, item I. Is there any other additions, changes, or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda with those changes.
I'll move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is the consent agenda, and the consent agenda contains the following items for approval. The January 5th, 2026 special meeting minutes, the January 5th, 2026 regular meeting minutes, the payment of claims, listing of bills, and the December 25th financial reports. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Thank you. Community concerns, and up for community concerns. Do we have anyone registered for community concerns?
Mayor, I have two, Kevin Kellen and Donna Morris.
All right. So who would like to come forward first? This would be the time. Ladies first?
Yeah.
Donna, would you like to come up to the podium and, okay, all right. Kevin, come on up to the podium and state your complete name and address and your concerns.
My name is Kevin Kellen. I live in Brookings, South Dakota. My phone number is 605-651-2332 for anybody who wants to question what I'm about to say or is inclined to help. Now I'm going to talk about property on 601 3rd Avenue Northeast that I own. And it's been a piece of property that I bought from the city here, or bought from a friend of mine, in which the city has not allowed me a building permit. I'd like to ask the city this question right now. Why is it I'm not entitled to a building permit? And I was told by Doug Fortune that everything had to come down to the ground and leveled and whatnot. But anyways, why wasn't I entitled to a building permit? But the person to the south of me got to build a shop plus a house behind it. Then my neighbor to the north where I bought the property from, they got to build a brand new porch and stuff just last year. The people north of Gary and Alice Erickson, that place, they got to all remodel and rebuild all that. But yet you guys have sat there and avoided me, told me to tear it down. I hired somebody to tear it down. After they got the first payment, they left. I hired a second person just this past year to come in, and he started working on it, and then all of a sudden he left. And it seems like anytime I give somebody some money, they decide they want to just run away. And to me, I'm doing what I can do, but it's like this. I feel that it's kind of the city's problem because the city can't give me a permit, but yet I was told that if I left one remaining wall that I could be able to build there. And when you look at the map of 1993, when they brought out the map on the flood zone, it'll show that I'm in a flood fringe and I'm not in the flood plain. Just as the lady, when I bought the property, the day I bought the property, told me the same thing. But everybody seems to shove me over into a little area where I shouldn't be. I'm not in a flood plain. I'm in the flood fringe. You guys can check the maps out. You guys can go by what you just heard.
Okay, we have updated the floodplain and the flood map since 1993. In fact, that was just updated last year, so you may want to check the new maps. And then when did you apply for a building permit? I guess that question.
17 where I talked to Fortune one night. He said I could never get one because I had to.
I'm sorry, what date did you apply for the building permit?
It was like in 2017, I think it was.
In-
Bought the property.
In 2017?
Yeah, November 2017, if I'm right.
Okay.
A little off and
November? Okay. Well, again, none of us were here in November of 2017.
I understand.
And we can't honor an application that was put in November of 2017. So that's something that you may have to renew. We can't do anything on your complaint tonight through community concerns because we need to investigate and find out if the information you're giving us is correct. But
Copy of planners?
that will give us time to do that, yeah. So if you can leave that with the city, and you should be able to present a plan to City Hall here if you're interested in building, and then get some updated information.
I don't think I have any plans on building anywhere. I pretty much seen what I've seen in Pipestone here. I have a lot of questions of what's happened in Pipestone since I graduated high school to now.
Okay.
You guys talked about a few of them. You guys hit a few on your meetings earlier today that I seen. And one of them is just like this. Talked about a new restaurant coming in on, what is it, 209 Main Avenue? It's like this. Why hasn't anybody in the city ever tried to keep the stuff you guys got going here? It's like this. There's a way you guys could have got government grants, big government grants. If you guys could have somehow talked to Tammy Grubb and implemented a way to make the Calumet part of the school out there where they could have had like courses there, like for motel courses. They could have had like bar courses. They could have had cooking courses, but nobody seems to want to implement anything into anything else in the community. You guys pretty much, not you guys personally, but the city has pretty much destroyed the city, and I'm really not really pleased with what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing these days. It's just like, no, it can't be. You guys can do things to Calumet. I know you guys can be able to work things out with people. I believe you can anyways.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for your information. And like I said, we'll research it, and city staff can contact you. If you have any questions, you can contact city staff anytime.
What's your guys' situation on the property? What do you guys pretty much called me here through the newspaper, so I thought I better come in.
Well, it's on the agenda for this evening, and you're welcome to stay here. And when we get to it on the agenda, we'll address it.
All right.
Anything?
Otherwise, I'll sell it to you guys if you guys really want to buy it that bad, but it's going to come at a big, high cost.
Any
There's
other?
litigation problems.
Well, the city cannot purchase property for speculation. And correct me if I'm wrong there, but
So ain't it that you guys wanted the property for Casey Jones Trail?
I don't know.
Or an opening to go back there and try to get that 13 acres back there so you guys can build solar panels and stuff like that? I know I've heard a couple different things, and it's like,
Okay.
whatever it is, I guess. But
Well, yeah. Like I said, stick around for the rest of the meeting and we'll go from there.
All right.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Okay, Donna, it's your turn.
Good luck. Oh, you should fix that water fountain out there too, it doesn't work.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Bringing it down on the water bill that was,
Why don't you state your name and where you live, and then you can go ahead with your community concern.
everybody was down in Morris, 420 Ninth Avenue Northwest. And I'm here talking about the concern of the water bill of a rental property of mine. And I asked him to shut it off before it got this high, and now I'm asked to pay almost a $600 bill, which I do not agree with.
Okay, and this was the same property that you came in and talked to us about in the past, correct, Donna? And then, so were you in contact with city staff after our conversation?
I tried calling once.
Okay. Did you get back to Donna with information on that?
I did try calling Donna, but the voicemail was full. But
Leave an invoice, so you're lying.
to answer your question though, Donna, you had said that we wouldn't shut the water off. And the reason why we wouldn't shut the water off is because we had a payment agreement with your renter. And as long as they have an agreement with us, we won't shut them off. But as a landlord,
If it's to over $300, there should not be no exceptions.
as a landlord, if you would want the water shut off, you could come in and sign a paper that requesting as a property owner to shut the water off. And we would do that, but we would have you as the land owner pay the $70 to have it shut off.
So why not do this?
I'm not sure, but at the time, from what I have talked with staff, that was the answer they said that was given, was the person had a payment arrangement, so we typically don't.
And half of what their bill was. And I informed you guys too that they were not paying other bills. And I said I was afraid they were gonna skip.
So that's, I guess, my response. But as a landlord, you can always keep the bill in your name, and that way you know where the bill is at.
You guys take the deposit and you guys run the billing. So why is this my responsibility to?
So
Should not be.
we legally cannot shut anybody off until they are at least 30 days past due. And then at that point, we have to give them a notice, allowing them the opportunity to come to the council. So there's kind of a time frame that we have to abide by legally.
So if they take $10, you just let them keep going.
No,
Yeah,
that's
more or less what it's coming down to. It's not the first time this has happened.
so we're trying to do our best and be a little more strict with the bills.
I do not feel that I'm responsible for this whole bill.
Okay, Donna. Well, we did have some staff changes since this all took place. And I think some policies have changed also with, we have landlords that want the utility bills in their name so they can monitor them. And we have landlords like yourself that do not want the utility bills in their name. They expect the tenant to take care of that. And so we work both ways. And but the bottom line is the city does not get stuck with the utility bills because we have to look out for everyone in the community. And part of being a landlord is working with your tenants and making sure that they're paying what they need to pay. Because if they stop paying you rent, I'm sure you would be certainly working with them right away. Yeah, and you know what, that happens sometimes. So what we can do is, we can't, like I said earlier, we can't act on this tonight, but we can follow up with staff and we can put it on an agenda for a future meeting.
Even the police were in
Okay.
And I thought that was going to settle it all and get them out of there. They would not answer our phone calls. They would not answer the door except for the police.
Yeah.
Police were supposed to go back in there and follow up, and they never did.
Well, being a landlord is not an easy business. I can assure you of that. And just what you're telling me too, you already know that. So, but that is part of the responsibility of being a landlord. That happens occasionally. But we will,
Number one is, if there is such a thing as, I would have gladly paid the $70 at that point to
Okay.
get them shut off.
in the future, if you need something shut off on any of your rental properties, there's a form that you need to sign here at City Hall and come in person and get that signed, and then we can go from there, correct? And so that's something that we didn't have Not that long ago, really. When did we start that? It was just a
2 months ago.
Yeah.
few months ago. And so we're trying to tighten things up a little bit better around here too at City Hall so that we don't have issues like what happened to you, because that's too bad that that happened to you. That shouldn't have happened. But we want to make sure that we don't have those loopholes anymore. And like I said, the whole council will get the complete information and we can put it on the agenda at a future meeting. We can't make a decision
How
tonight.
is he still getting service in this town with a bill like that?
I don't have those details. I don't know. But that's something that we got to research. That's probably good information that we need to know. Maybe you can get a hold of Stephanie here tomorrow and exchange information, and then we can go from there.
In the meantime, I have a renter in there right now.
Okay.
Try and make up with things. So is that gonna be okay that they're not gonna shut him off?
Do we have it scheduled to have it shut off?
What was the address, Donna?
1003 3rd Avenue Southwest.
That one is on our list to be shut off.
And I got a yellow notice right here again.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So they must have came in and either made a payment arrangement or paid what was past due.
No. It's still the same amount for the other ones, but
Well, let's make
we
sure.
do have a different renter in there. When there was nobody in there, we did pay the bill. And he is on there. He already called the first day he was in there.
Well, let's make sure your new renter is paying what he owes and keeping that up. So that's why you need to talk with City Hall directly and, okay, all right. Well, thank you.
So are you gonna let me know when the next meeting is? That we're gonna discuss?
When we get it on the agenda, we'll let you know. Yeah, if it's the next meeting or if it's a meeting or so after, whenever it works, whenever we get all the information together. And we meet the first Monday and the third Monday of every month. Okay. And our meetings are posted and they're televised, so, but yeah, we'll be in touch. All right, thank you. Next up is reports and senior citizen. First, Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve Weeds from the Senior Center. I'm the treasurer. They still keep me there. I don't know why.
No, that's glad you're there.
Thank you. The statistics that we have for last year, we had 128 members. And right now, the renewals, we have to renew every year. The renewal fee is $25 for membership per year. We're up to 70 members right now, which is pretty good for only being the first couple weeks into the new year. Last year through the building, we keep some statistics on the number of people that have gone through for different events and stuff. And the total people that went through the building last year was 3,805 people that attended either cards, pool, bingo, coffee, whatever you want to say, you know, whatever reason they came in, there was that many people in the building, which we feel for the first year was really, really good. Meals on Wheels and senior dining is also held there. And there was 3,320 home meals that were delivered for 2025. And senior dining started, I believe it was either July or August. I can't remember which month it was.
Yeah, it was in the summer.
That's kind of off to a slow start. It's moving, but since then only 572 meals have been served. But at least it's a start. We're getting the name out there. We're getting to know that the meals are there and that they are available. They're served every noon at 11:30. Anybody 55 years of age or older can certainly come and dine if they wish. The events that we have had since the last time that we had our report here is we had our holiday fair in November, and that's basically a craft fair that's held out at the school. And that's our second largest fundraiser that we have in the year. Our largest fundraiser, of course, is the Belgian waffle feed that we have in April. One of the events that was held at the senior center was the foundation gala that was held in November. And there was, I believe, like 56 or 60 people that attended that. And the Pipestone Area Community Foundation held their meeting and their gala there. And that's when they gave away $25,000 to the community that night. We had our Christmas party, and there was 40 people that attended that. And one of the highlights of that Christmas party was that Denise Nagel and Carol Hobrecht came and played duets on the piano. And we want to thank the city for the piano that was donated. I don't know if everybody is aware of it, but the piano that was over at what is now going to be the daycare center across from Hanks was given to us and moved by the city crew into the senior center. And it's a wonderful donation because the piano that we had there was not good. So people that have played it have really enjoyed it. We've had 2 defensive driving courses. And we've probably had, I think there was about 50 people that attended both of those defensive driving courses. With one of the donations that we received, we bought an 85-inch TV, which probably is about the size of this one. And that will be going up on the wall to help with our defensive driving and classes and stuff that we're going to have there. So that should be going up within the next couple weeks. United Way holds their monthly meetings there, so that gets a few more people in and out of the building. And Food Shelf for the seniors is still held twice a month. And we've had really good attendance, between 60 and 70 people for each of those Food Shelf days. So thanks for your continued support.
One question, Steve. The senior meals, is there a charge for that?
There is, we will call it a donation. There is a suggested price, but what they tell people is you pay what you feel that you can afford to pay. And that's the same way with the home delivered meals. Lutheran Social Service is subsidized by many different groups. United Way is one of them. We did receive a donation from Pipestone Helping Farmers. And there's, several different, the banks, are real good about donating. So there are funds that come in which help subsidize the meal. There are some people that can afford to pay the full price. They're there because they love the camaraderie of being able to just visit. But we tell people, don't stay away if you don't feel that you can afford it, because there are ways to help pay for it.
Okay. And then if you have different clubs come in and use the building, is there a fee for the club to come in?
We haven't been charging that, because the clubs that have been coming in between United Way and the Pipestone Area Community Foundation, we have all of our meetings there. They have been very, very good donors to the senior center. So we just feel that it's just kind of, camaraderie that we let them use the building.
It's a nice venue, and I'm sure if you go there, you will find out that there's quite a bit to do there too, and a lot going on all the time. So thank you very much.
Gentlemen to come and play pool every day.
I'm going to take them on someday, I think. Yeah. I'm going to give it a try anyway. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Yep.
It was like 2017 when I contacted you, the courthouse on the property with her.
Up next would be museum.
I was there. Yep, that's conclusion. I got a letter here that's from December 28th of December, so I'd like to be right on that.
Susan?
Just our update at the Historical Society for the last quarter. We were awarded a $177,000 grant from the state of Minnesota's Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, and that will be to repoint the remaining 3 sides of the Ferris Grand building. So if you recall, we had the front done, the north side. So we're going to be working with LHB, an architectural firm out of St. Paul, and we will be hiring a contractor. They're also going to repair damage to bricks. The south side of the building in the alley, it's actually the 1934 addition to the building is brick. And so there's some damage to those. Some cracked bricks will be replaced. And also to repair 2 cast cement windowsills on the alley side.
Okay.
So, and then, of course, also the downspouts for water management, always important. We are holding our Ferris Grand fundraiser February 21st. The tickets are $65 a piece, and new this year, we're selling single tickets. So you can get 1 ticket, you could get 3 tickets, anything you want. It'll be a 4-course meal by the Pipestone County Cattlemen and also Stacy's Bar and Grill. We did get sponsors for this event as well. The Jack of Trades, the All of Your Sheep Shearing, Pepsi, and the Pipestone County Medical Center and Family Clinic We're also having a cash raffle with this fundraiser. The prize is $1,000. The cost is $50 a ticket, and we're only selling 100. So we do have some of those available yet. And that's always been a very fun fundraiser if you're able to make that one. We are still working on our newspaper digitization. So last year, in the spring of 2025, we had digitized all the titles published in Pipestone County that we hold on microfilm. It was something like 11 different publications, 1879 through 1915. And those are all available online, searchable by word search, phrase search, anything like that. And we're going to continue this. We have our next phase is 1916 through 1939, so right up to 1940. And it costs about $200 per reel of microfilm to have this done. So we're still pushing for our end goal. It's going to cost about $23,000. We are going to go ahead and go forward with the project with whatever we have money for. So if we go over our goal, we'll just get a few more reels done as well. Great public response to this project. People really enjoy having that access to the newspapers online. So it's been great. We are going to be hiring summer interns again this summer. They will basically be working at the museum between May 25th and August 14th. 2 interns, we were able to fund this through a generous private donation. So we were able to have 2 interns as well last year. This is geared towards college students, but last year we did have a high school student intern with us very successfully. So we're open to that as well. We are paying $13.50 an hour. It's going to be 28-week internship this summer. So applications open March 2nd. And I think I have spoken to this before, but we at the Pipestone County Historical Society, we are part of a group of county historical societies in the southwest part of Minnesota. We're called the Southwest Six. Southwest Minnesota 6. So last fall, we were awarded a $35,000 grant from the state of Minnesota's Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, this group, and that was to hire a consultant to research and put together an interpretive plan in preparation to create a traveling exhibit among the counties. So we're kind of pooling our resources in order to bring in some funding that will benefit all of us. The actual exhibit is not part of this grant, but it is open for a next grant round once we have the interpretive plan put together to have the exhibit built, and then it will travel between us. So the estimated exhibit will be presented in 2028.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's always a few years out when we're working with the grant money. And then finally, we still offering or presenting History Happy Hour. And I wanted to be sure to mention that for people. So we've done that for a couple of years. It's really fun. We hold it just in the winter. So January, February, and March. We have 2 locations this year. So we'll be at the Pipestone Country Club. It's generally the last Thursday of the month. And we are in Woodstock at Stacy's Bar and Grill. Generally the last Tuesday of those months. And I say generally because I think March throws us off a little bit for that exact. But that is advertised on our website. We have a calendar on our website as well. And that we just have museum staff present some fun history while you're having drinks and dinner. So it's usually about a 5-10 minute presentation. Fun stuff.
Yeah, very nice. Well, thank you, Susan, for the work you do, because I would hate to think what our downtown businesses and buildings would look like if it wasn't for your efforts over the years. So,
Very important.
yes, very important. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Eric Volker with the Pipestone Area Chamber of Commerce, and since I was last here in October, we had a very busy time with lots of events and lots of things happening. So just kind of give a kind of an update on all of those, and then just get a few dates and a few announcements for things we're working on now, and dates to mark on your calendar of some larger events and happenings that you'll want to make sure that you attend for 2026.
Great.
So since I was last here in October, we held our Pipestone Veterans Memorial Gala fundraiser through the Pipestone Veterans Committee, of which I sit on, and the chamber is involved and supportive of that. That was on Saturday, October 25th at Pipestone Country Club. Huge community support for that. We had 96 silent auction items. We raised about $4,500 from that silent auction, and total raised through a business solicitation letter that we helped send out for that. And then the chamber helped organize the silent auction. And all total for the whole event, that letter and the silent auction was about $17,000. So super generous. The public, our businesses as well, that included two $5,000 donations in that as well. I think even more importantly though, and Radine's on the committee as well. So I think one thing that I got out of it, we will be holding it again. I don't know if it will necessarily be that same Saturday in October, but I feel like our community's veterans really appreciated it. It's an opportunity for them to be lifted up. It was an opportunity to kind of be able to learn a little bit for the attendees there. They loosely followed sort of some of the traditions and explained some of those through a military ball. And I think it was just a nice way to lift up those veterans, have a special night just for them, and of course, raise funds to get this memorial built. So great event, and truly thank you to everyone who helped with that. Then right away, then that next week, we hosted, along with the EDA, an open house and a ribbon cutting, chamber ribbon cutting for the EDA Childcare Business Incubator Space. That's located, of course, at 711 Fifth Avenue Southwest. And so people could come in. That was staged so people could look at how that would look like to bring in a new business. So if you have anyone out there who might be watching in the viewing public, I'm sure Justin may talk about this too. It's a really great opportunity for very little capital to come in, turnkey, come in there and see if childcare is for you. That's for a new business, so it wouldn't be an existing one. And obviously the reason for that, we had some questions about that, and that's because the goal of the Rural Child Care Innovation Program is to increase those number of slots. So great opportunity. I know there's been some folks who have reached out and passed them along to Justin, but just got to get it filled. So if you have a graduate coming up who likes kids and wants to work for themselves and have that rewarding career, then they should, this is an ideal opportunity. Then later that evening, for about 3 hours, the Rural Child Care Innovation Program held their Community Solutions Action Plan. Chamber staff and some of our board members attended that. That was held at Stonehouse in the meeting room, and essentially they created a report which is available, and also each of the subcommittees that were broken down from the original town hall and all of those surveys gave updates as to where they were at in terms of each of their progress. Like, for example, the Child Care Business Incubator Space was under the Facilities Committee and whatnot. So there's a workforce one, there's various different committees, but that was something that we participated in and is moving forward. We then, of course, held our 11th annual Trunk or Treat event on Halloween, which was a Friday. Still went over well, even though it was a Friday. We always kind of wonder about that, but we still had a lot of participants, and downtown was full. The businesses downtown that were open were full in terms of eating. The overall winner was Geierman's, and then Best Business Trunk for First Farmers and Merchants. Best nonprofit was the Pipestone Area School Band, and those kids did a great job with their Pick or Treat trailer. So thank you to everyone who participated. I know I hesitate right now to give a number, but I know there were over 30. So we really appreciate them. We wouldn't have an event without them. So definitely thanks to them. One announcement I want to make is mark your calendars, because this year it will be on Thursday, October 29th. So for everyone thinks trunk or treat is killing door-to-door trick-or-treating, here's your opportunity. It is you can go out on the actual Halloween. We're going to hold ours on Thursday just because it works best, and we're going to mix it up and see how it works. So mark your calendars for Thursday, October 29th. It'll be the same time as always, same location. We also held a fall decorating contest kind of at the same time that we were having our pumpkin fundraiser, and that with a goal of trying to beautify our community and encourage that through kind of a fun contest. The overall winner, category all his own, every year, all holidays, Bob Cleansing. So he did an awesome job. I think he runs his own kind of haunted house now. The JC should just contract with him and he can just run them all through there. So, so just huge credit to Bob. He was pretty excited about it. And so both front yard, backyard, the works. So he did a great job. For the residential category, Pamela and Larry Zeinstra won. Second place was Jean and Lauren Tinklenberg. And for businesses, All About Smiles coming in first, second, Pipestone Helping Farmers, and Real Estate Retrievers third. We had about 20 different participants, so thanks to all of them. We awarded custom trophies made by Do Take It Personally, locally made here right in town, and so that was a fun event. We held our chambers. It was the 20th annual chili cook-off, chamber chili cook-off and silent auction fundraiser. The theme was Thursday Night Live with your favorite SNL themes or skits. We had 15 teams. First choice, Chambers Choice, or I should say Chambers Choice went to First Farmers and Merchants Bank with Lawrence Welk and the Maharel sisters. Second would be the best traditional chili that went back to Winter Realty. They rejoined us and took home their trophy again with Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. Best non-traditional chili was with Sassy Cakes by Ashley. Their theme was Bronx Beat, the sweater weather gals, but that's something that they use, which is really smart as a business that serves food to kind of test out those recipes. And so now that's become part of what they sell, along with their prior year's winners. This is a third year in a row for them for non-traditional. Best theme was Dairy King with motivational speaker Matt Foley down with a van down by the river. If you were there, I don't know how you would have missed that as a theme. It was throughout, so they always do an awesome job. So this by far was our largest attendance to date. That also helps the Pipestone Country Club as well with them because they get all of the drink proceeds. So that's something to keep in mind. Just a really fun event. Our silent auction, we had great. I was a little worried because it was right away after the Veterans Gala, but we had approximately about another 90 items, and $3,500 was raised towards all the things the chamber does year round. So thanks to all who contributed, all who attended, and all the great teams. Lights at the Lodge was a week earlier this year, and while we are not responsible for that, we do participate. That was Saturday, November 22nd. We were there on the how we contributed this year as a chamber is we decorated a tree, which we always do every year, but we also purchased a large new kind of bright, sparkling Merry Christmas sign and some lighted 3D presents. We purchase that through anyone who comes and kind of supports events like Chamber Chili Cook-Off or our various dinners. We use some of those funds to reinvest back in other events and other activities. And that's how we chose to do that for this year towards Lights at the Lodge. And then our staff came out and volunteered their time and took pictures of the public in front of that sign and anywhere they wanted by the giant snowman and whatnot. So that was great. And I will say for that committee, if they are listening out in social media land or YouTube or whenever they're watching this or public access, that very good feedback for moving it up a week. It was much warmer. And I think people were like, you could move it up another week. So I think they would be fine with that too, of it even warmer. We had our Shop Small Saturday business event. Then the Saturday right after Thanksgiving, as it always is. That is an online deal promotion. We do more than just the holiday vendor fair for our local businesses. We promote those deals online. We list them all on our website. And so various businesses had deals encouraging people to shop local. Unfortunately, I mean, all of us gave it our best shot. Mother Nature was brutal that day though. So it was kind of a tough weekend. But that made us all the more appreciative of everyone who came out. I mean, we had good attendance. Was it our highest? No. But it was pretty darn cold out and pretty icy. So thanks to everyone who came out that day. But additionally, just on behalf of the chamber, thanks to everyone who supports all of our local businesses, who support all our schools, churches, nonprofits, local residents, our economy, property taxes, and create jobs. So everyone who shopped locally this season, on behalf of the chamber and our members, thank you so much. Especially those that came out on that very cold day. Then that took us into a few days later, our Merry and Bright Night, our second annual lighted holiday parade. And we had about a dozen entries. Each of those did a really awesome job that really lit up Main Street and again filled up a lot of those businesses downtown that were open. We're going to do something different though for our third one. It is difficult to compete with school sports. So we're going to move ours. As much as we try, there's only so many nights and days. So we are going to move this year. We're going to move that parade to Wednesday, December 2nd. It's going to be a Wednesday instead of a Friday. Same time, same lineup, pretty much probably pretty close to the same layout, but just mark your calendars. And I think that'll also enable us. It'll be a fun way for more of our faith community to get involved. They can have carolers, they can have lighted up activities. So that can be a project they can work on in their youth groups. So I think we're hoping that will be an easier way so people can get involved with community events, but also be able to attend all of their kids' athletics and other activities. Santa comes to town. That was held right out here and inside this very room. That's an event that the chamber partners with 4-H. 4-H runs the make and take crafts. So that was held right out here in this, I don't know what you call it, foyer space, like the middle space of the of City Hall. And then we set up and decorate a Santa visit photo opportunity, so folks can come do that for free and get a nice photo. The children can visit with Santa, they can give them their list, have that special time and create those memories. Then inside here, we converted this, and if you were in here, you would know that. I mean, completely into a bookshelf. It looked like your very own little Pipestone Barnes and Noble. It just was huge. And we had all kinds of tables that we brought over. Thank you to the Legion for loaning us those. And so we carried them over, set this all up, decorated it all, and kids got to come in and select their very own book from Santa. These are first quality books. They're brand new. And so we're really appreciative of the funding that we get for the entire event, for all of the decor and the photo backdrop and all of that. This year, our funders were grants that we wrote for through Sioux Valley Energy, Pipestone Area Community Foundation, United Way of Pipestone County, and then again, the funds that we raised through our fundraising through the chamber. So huge thank you to all of those. Super positive comments from all of the parents and grandparents. And it just was very heartwarming this year. I got to be in with the books to watch the kids kind of struggle with which book they wanted to select and watch the parents kind of push children into like, well, I think you could read a little bit more, and we cover books, anything from baby up to age 18, because we have older siblings that come and we have them select books as well for being nice and coming with. We also wrote our return letters from Santa, or rather the elves did. And those were all sent out to any child that dropped off a letter downtown at Santa's Shed, both for Pipestone and all the neighboring towns. We get towns from all over the county and then across the border in South Dakota. We have had Iowa. We didn't this year. But there's usually, anywhere from 50 to 125 depending on the year, and so that's always a fun project. Pipestone County Christmas Care followed up after that the very next week. That's organized by Kiwanis, our local Kiwanis Club, the Chamber, and the Food Shelf and Kiwanis kind of run the food component, but I can speak to the things that the chamber helps with specifically, and that would be kind of grant writing, registration, promotion, volunteer organization, and recruitment, the purchase of all the toys locally, organizing and displaying all the toys, putting them in each of their sections so you walk in and it literally looks kind of like a Toys R Us, and creation of the individual shopper sheets that the volunteers use to take the recipients through. This year we had 97 families sign up for toys or food. 66 that were for food totes only. So that would include any age up to through seniors, for a total of 163 households. And that was about 260 kids that each had a very Merry Christmas. We have tons of volunteers and even more donors. So I don't want to go through those because I don't have the list in front of me, but thank you very much to all the individuals who drop off toys and boxes that we don't even know about, that we don't have their name, for people who write out checks. And then we spend all of the proceeds that we spend locally. We buy all of those here. So then that acts as well as an economic generator for our businesses that sell toys, and anything we can get through that way. And I know the food shelf maximizes the funds that we receive as well through donations and then through their association with Second Harvest. So that's a way to get more people to be able to assist. And of course, Kiwanis providing all of the assistance that they do as well. So that was a good event, and that went off well this year. We made a few changes, and I think they worked well in terms of kind of just mostly scheduling things. Then we had our Santa came back on the eve of before Christmas Eve, so December 23rd, and visited all of the 3 Hiawatha Manor homes, along with one chamber elf and one chamber rain dog, we'll call it, whose name is Gertie, and then went off and dropped off stockings with treats for each of the 7 residents that live in our community in the Hiawatha Manor homes. And then I'll kind of end here with and I'm sure Justin will talk a lot more about this, but there's a joint program of the City EDA and the Chamber. We're both working on this CBC program, which stands for Connecting Businesses and Community. We've started the interviews of businesses, and we've also held our initial training that was done through the University of Minnesota Extension. I think we're at 17 plus interviews of businesses already. So right now we're in the recruiting phase of getting people to get signed up for interviews. So if you'd like us to come interview your business and we haven't contacted you yet, we're trying to reach out, go step by step and reach out to all those. But if you are raring to go, you can contact either Justin or myself and get signed up, and we can get you scheduled to have volunteers come out and interview. It's about 60 minutes, longest one, 120. And we're also looking to recruit task force members, and I'll let Justin talk more about that. As far as the chamber, we're working on kind of our membership renewals. We are a membership-based organization that covers about 30% of what it costs to run the chamber. So we're working on all of those. We are, I'd like to put out just a request. We will be working soon. We haven't met yet, but we will be for the visitor guide with Pipestone Publishing. So people can get us dates for the community events calendar, then we can get those on the calendar and start planning another great year. We're working on our own chamber planning as well, and a few dates that we know of already to just kind of get out there. And so people mark their calendars right away. If some of the bigger things would be, as Susan said, Saturday, February 21st for the Ferris Grand fundraiser. Obviously our museum owns multiple properties, and the more fundraisers and funds that they can get, the better care we can take of all those buildings that we all love and want to maintain. The second thing would be Saturday, March 28th is PCMC, or they're rebranded now as Avera at Home, which is the hospice benefit. So that's Saturday, March 28th. Tuesday, March 31st will be Pipestone County Pheasants Forever Banquet. So supporting those conservation and youth sportsman initiatives, that all the things that club does. Our chamber banquet will either be in March or April. We're working on kind of getting that finalized, but that'll be kind of a March, April timeframe. And then the sportsman's banquet, they're also working as well, but I think they're going to be a little bit later, not right away in February or March. So, and then of course, Water Tower Festival parade date will be Saturday, June 27th. And then we might be switching up some of the dates. So if you have specific questions or you're working on a reunion, be sure and call the chamber, because we might be mixing, kind of altering some of the, Friday, maybe going back to the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But for sure, the parade will be Saturday morning, June 27th, normal time, normal route. The theme is iconic Minnesota. So any iconic item, person, thing about Minnesota is the theme. So you could start preparing that now. We selected that specifically because 2026 is the 150th or sesquicentennial is the fancy word for the 150th 150th anniversary of the city of Pipestone. So it'll be a special time, and we got some fun things planned, and we're excited about it. Any questions?
Good. No, I'm glad you mentioned the community calendar and already gave out some dates, because there's nothing more frustrating to have two very popular events scheduled for the same night and for the same weekend. And if you coordinate with the chamber, it certainly makes it nice for everyone. So
Yes, and I do think, thanks for saying that. We do work hard on that. It's available at pipestoneminnesota.com. So it's a resource for anyone, and you do not need to be a chamber member. So please call us if you have a large. It just needs to be open to the public. So in other words, not kind of a private event. I mean, it could be ticketed, but it needs to be available to be open to the public. It's at pipestoneminnesota.com. There's a link that just says calendar. You can click on that or use the drop down menu. Yes, I think, that's the number one frustration that we get from I would say nonprofits that call us, is when they've worked really hard and they've developed it, and then another organization is holding their event the same date, and it always ends up kind of harming both. So if we can just kind of all work together, and we're happy to kind of coordinate and let you know, or kind of call or give you some heads up of even try and help you search for a date, even if you're not a member, to kind of figure out where all these events can succeed. Additionally, one date I forgot to mention too is also the Pipestone County Fair. It's tentatively set right now for Wednesday, August 5th through Saturday, August 8th.
okay, all right.
Thanks.
And then I got an idea for you for a children's book when you have some free time. Gertie the Shortest Reindeer.
Yes, I know. Yes, we have actually, you're not the first person who said we should.
Okay.
We should have a fundraiser for the chamber with Gertie and her adventures.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout it out because I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Is thank you to City Public Works. I mean, they help us with all of these events. Also, thank you to, I think it was Bob Bullerman and Lindsay Hunstead, who put up our lights that we purchased. And then I said, please, someone else do it, because I don't want to be responsible for breaking one of those. Just a reminder, you only have to take those green ones down, and then it'll be for Valentine's, and you switch them, and then you leave the green one and white ones, and then they'll be up for arrows and the St. Patrick's Day. So, but
Lots of good comments on those. So yeah.
And thanks to the city for all their help with everything, and especially Public Works with our events. We couldn't do it with a staff of 2 without them. So.
Well, thank you, Erica. Okay. Next up is EDA. Justin.
Last meeting. Erica covered a lot of the stuff that we've been working on together. But just an update on Southwest Acres. We issued our first refund for a completed home this last week. They were excited to go furniture shopping. So there's 3 homes currently under construction out there right now, and there's 3 more lots available for $15,000 with a full refund. Erica touched on our Connecting Business and Communities program. We just got over 15 businesses so far this month. It's been a great reception from business owners. They're glad to see us there. So saying that, we're looking for more volunteers. If anybody wants to help out, go on some field trips with us, as well as interested businesses. If there's anybody that's out there that wants to sit down and talk to us, let us know. We're wrapping up our Rural Child Care Innovation Program. It's been almost 2 years in the making. It's been a good program. We started that child care facility. We had 2 people look and apply last week. We're going to interview next week and hopefully have somebody in there this spring. Our forgivable loan program has been working well. We've had 3 providers showing interest in that just in the last week. We're looking to start. We had a workforce development program today at the high school. Danielle was there along with Jody from the library and myself. And we had a provider in town. Teresa Whipple brought her daycare kids to the high school, and they had little activities, and then the high school girls got to get a little taste for what childcare would be like during the day. They're looking at that for a career opportunity. Just want to touch on EDA loans. We got, spring will be around the corner pretty soon, hopefully. want to touch on exterior improvement program. It's a $5,000 loan that people can use for paint, doors, windows, roofs, anything, businesses and homes. Business startup loan, we had an applicant again tonight, was just approved. So if there's a business out there thinking about starting or expanding, come talk to us. We can help you get some financing. I touched on that child care development forgivable loan. Just passed a signage grant reimbursement program tonight at our EDA meeting, where we would help people with new signage up to $1,000 for their businesses anywhere in town. Speaking of grants, we wrote over $1 million in grants in 2025. They're anywhere from $500 up to $940. It's a pretty good year for grants. That's all I've got.
Well, thank you, Justin, for your work. And I guess you're a perfect example of what the city does do for this community to try to promote business. We do a lot, and we will continue to do a lot. And again, thanks for your work. Okay, next up is HRA, but they are not here, so we'll move on to engineering. The 80 by 80 hangar pay request number 2. This is a pay request for the City of Pipestone Municipal Airport, and that hangar project in the amount of $124,406.56, and that would be for the payment of the civil site work and building material costs. So I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any questions, discussion? Is this the final payment?
No, it is
No.
not, just
Okay.
the dirt work,
All right.
essentially, and then the materials.
Okay.
So the building is not up yet.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Also, the AWAS pay request number 2, and that is for the City of Pipestone Municipal Airport, and that replaced the Automated Weather Observation System. That's what AWAS stands for. And the amount of that was $4,642.50. And this is where you can get on the internet and you can get up-to-date weather information about Pipestone. Based on this equipment, and the pilots use it when they're coming to this area, and a lot of media outlets use this for presenting information to the public too. So entertain a motion to pay for this AWAS system.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. New business, Resolution 2026-6, and the Pipestone County Pheasants Forever is again requesting a gambling permit, and they will have their raffle and annual banquet on March 31st, 2026, as Erica had stated, and that would be at the Pipestone National Guard Armory Building, and they're asking for approval on this application for the Gambling Control Board. There's no waiting period. So they're asking for a gambling permit, and I'd entertain a motion.
So make a motion to approve their permit.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? And this is something we've done in the past, and it's a very good promotion for their cause. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Resolution 26-7, and this is a resolution accepting donations, and it's $5,000 worth of donations from the Pipestone United Way, and that would assist with lights at the lodge and the city parks and recs department and the city's after school and summertime fund program. So I'd entertain a motion to accept those funds.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments? I'd just like to say thank you to the United Way for those generous donations. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no, and motion carries. Resolution 2026-8, and this resolution orders the abatement of a hazardous property and buildings and public nuisance located at 601 3rd Avenue Northeast. This property contains a dwelling and buildings that are inadequately maintained, collapsing, dilapidated, and abandoned. The property also contains unlicensed and presumably inoperable recreational vehicles and motor vehicles and other nuisances, which is weeds and unkept lawn and things like that. So entertain a motion here for this resolution on that 601 3rd Avenue Northeast.
I'll move that resolution 2026-8.
We have a motion on the floor, and I will second that motion. Is there any discussion, questions? And I guess, Stephanie, if you could explain just to our listening audience that what the abatement process is at this point, and how long did it take us to get to this point, and what do we hope to accomplish?
Well, Jason can maybe help me a little bit with this.
Okay, yeah.
This process has been going on for quite some time. I think there's been letters sent on and off throughout the past several years prior to even me being here. Our staff has kind of just made it a priority. We've gotten a lot of complaints and things, just safety issues. And so we've sent letters to the property owner. Jason has also sent letters, and now it's just to the point of essentially, Jason, will we have to go to court over this, right? So is that the next step?
Yeah, the next step is the service of the abatement order that is attached to the resolution. That gives the property owner 30 days to kind of clear the property and get rid of the violations, all that stuff. And if that doesn't work, then it would get filed in court and kind of proceed from there. And ultimately, if the property is not cleared, then the city can go in there and recover its costs either directly or ultimately through assessments and levies.
Okay, all right. So it's just one step in a very lengthy process. And this council and the city staff have been very proactive in trying to clean up blight in our community. And we receive a lot of complaints from the citizens about blight. And it's a long, drawn-out process because everyone is entitled to it. And that's why we are continuing to work on this. And this is just one area where we're getting to the point where we have to take it to, there's 30 days the property owner has to clean up the area. If they don't, then we have to get the courts involved and go from there, so.
I'm sorry, it didn't happen in 30 days. Like I say, I feel you guys should be held responsible for things that have taken place. One, I couldn't get the permit that I needed to rebuild when I got there, when I was told I could build.
Okay, just a minute, Kevin. Kevin, we already had your comments from community concerns, and we have a resolution and a motion on the floor. And is there any other questions or concerns? If you have a question or concern, please come up to the podium if you'd like to, because people can't hear you from where you're sitting.
My question and concern is, it's like this.
I sat there and I've been trying to do something with the property. I've had 2 different people go out there to try to clear it off. I might have gave them money and then it just disappeared. And I'm not really happy with that. But the city itself, when I first bought the property, I wanted to rebuild that house. It was a historical house. It was one of the first farmhouses that was brought into this county of Pipestone. And it's like this is Malone, the attorney Malone out of Slayton, Minnesota, and Earl Tellenhuisen, who sat there and went to court, and they were going to sue the city of Pipestone because they tried to force Earl to take all that stuff off his property. And they found out they couldn't do it because it was a farmyard. It was a farmhouse. It was one of the first ones. It's something that gets grandfathered in. But yet I got people telling me I got to do this and I got to do that. Excuse me. I bought the property. It's private property and it's got personal property on it. That's the way I feel. If you guys sit here and you guys want to sit there and push this issue, that's your guys' problem. It's the simple part is after I've been told what I've been told, it's like, it's pretty simple that just buy me out. And it's going to cost you a lot of money, but buy me out. You guys can have for what I said. You can make your Casey Jones Trail. You can sit there and make a path to do something, but you got to get the 13 acres in the back.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kevin. I'll call the question. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Resolution 2026-9. This resolution is to appoint election judges and designate St. Leo's Catholic Church as a designated polling place for the 2026 elections. So I'd entertain a motion of approval on resolution 2026-9.
So moved. I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is the Mullenbrook, Talbert and Company PLLP audit engagement letter. And this is included in the council's packet, so we've had a chance to look over that letter. And I'd entertain a motion to agree with the appointment of Mullenbrook, Talbert and Company PLLP to audit engagement.
I so moved.
Second.
They would be our official accounting firm for 2026. Moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is scheduling our annual planning work session. And this is staff proposed an annual planning work session. And we do this once a year in February or so, it turns out to be. And that gives us time to discuss our one-year plan, our vision for the city of Pipestone in the next year. And it also gives us time to discuss openly about a 5-year plan and even a 10-year plan on the visions for the city of Pipestone. And so we usually get a lot of good information together, and it's a time where council can just sit back and try to brainstorm which direction we want to go. And so important meeting to have. And we've come up with January 24th, which is a Saturday, from start about 9 a.m. And we'll see how long it takes, but that seems to be a good date for everyone. And so I'd recommend or entertain a motion to schedule our annual planning work session, January 24th of this month, 9 a.m. So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next, we need to schedule a public hearing. That would be for the local Board of Appeals and Equalization hearing. And Pipestone County, the Assessor's Office would like to schedule that for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 at 7 p.m. And that would be in the council chambers here at City Hall. And I would entertain a motion to set that public hearing date.
So
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is accepting an employee resignation, and reluctantly, we will have to do that. Our building maintenance technician, Bob Bollerman, a longtime employee of the city of Pipestone, is retiring, and congratulations to Bob on the retirement, and that will take place on January 30th of this year. And we will also have a open house retirement get together on January 30th from 2 to 5 at the Hiawatha Lodge for Bob. He does a lot of work for the city and has for many years, keeping track of our buildings and just all around good worker, and gets involved with a lot of maintenance in the city of Pipestone. So thank you again, Bob. We're going to miss you. Entertain a motion to accept his retirement resignation.
so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments, questions?
Oh, just did a lot of work for
Yeah.
the city for,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
appreciate what he got. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I had.
Formal thank you. That's for sure.
he started.
You did. Okay. Yeah. All right. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no, and motion carries. Next up is item I, and that's resolution 2026-10. And this would be a resolution, it's housekeeping, it's a resolution that we had passed, but we want to update it with the proper name as City Administrator Stephanie LeBrun. So I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say no, and motion carries. All right. That takes care of our agenda. Is there any closing comments? I just wanted to mention that, you know, we've had quite a month so far in Minnesota. And I'm not going to be political at all. In fact, we hold non-political offices here at the city council level. Because let's face it, if you're red or blue, it doesn't matter if your water doesn't work or if your sewer's having issues or if your street has an issue. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. There is no city issues that are political. We are nonpartisan here. And I just want to make that clear. And I know there's good ideas on both sides of every idea. And I've seen some really good ideas and I've seen some really bad ideas, whether it's blue or red. And I'm not promoting either side. But I think we need to be just a little bit more kind to each other and remember that the folks on this council, the folks at the state level, the folks at the national level, they're trying to do the best they can. And I think most people, and I can speak for everybody here in this room, we may have different ideas on how to get to a certain place, but what we're all trying to get to is to make Pipestone the best it can be. And I believe that's the same way at our city levels and our state level and our government level. It's just everyone has different ideas on how to get there. And most of the time, it's never really left, really right. Most of the time, what works best is somewhere in that middle ground area. And we have usually been able to get to that. And so I just wanted to mention that it just makes me very upset and very ill, all the division and the talk that's going on out there and the negative that's going on out there. Let's try to be a little bit positive and a little bit kinder and come up with some solutions that work for everyone. And I know we can get there because we've done that in the past. So that's my closing comment. Any other closing comments? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
I have some.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you.